Hey guys, it's Tanielle, the Loc Mama. Welcome to my channel. Today I have Lena. Super excited to have Lena on my channel. And as you can guess from the title, this video is about microlocks versus sisterlocks. We're both going to share our journeys and give you some specific answers to the main questions that we see people asking about should they choose microlocks, should they choose sisterlocks. Now, the ultimate decision, as always, is up to you, but we hope that this video is helpful to you in making that decision. So I'm going to let Lena introduce herself, tell you guys a little bit about herself, and specifically answer the question, why did she choose sisterlocks over microlocks?
Okay, hi. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. I'm Lena with Lena's Lovely Locks. I have been Sisterlock for about 13 months now. I got locked November 18th, 2020. I have 4B, 4C hair. I started off with 11 inches, like around most of my hair. And then like the shorter ends, like on this side, I started off with maybe like 7 to 9 inches. It took 27 hours across 3 days. And I have approximately 530-ish locks in my hair.
So here's a little bit about my experience. My hair actually was about the same length as hers, 10 to 12 inches around my hair. It actually took 32 hours to complete over 3 days. I literally thought, y'all, it almost took me out. And I ended up with 512 locks. So I actually have less locks than you do.
But I didn't know you didn't have, like, you look like you have sister locks. Like they don't, I mean, obviously they're micro locks, and they look like they're sister locks.
I guess we'll get into the reason why. I think because perception a little bit about whether or not, like how, like the similarity in the way they look and the differences. And so let's, like, that's a good segue. Let's go ahead and go into that. So what is the difference between microlocks and sisterlocks? And I'll go ahead and start. So I have microlocks, and I want to specifically note the reason why they look similar is because microlocks can be started in more than one way. But you can start them with braids, you can start them with palm rolls. I've seen people with interlocks, which is what I have, and 2-strand twists. And so the reason why my locks look similar to hers is because my locks are actually interlocked. Another thing to notate is that microlocks are small locks. And so technically sisterlocks are a type of microlock. So if you're looking at micro meaning small and then locks meaning locks, sisterlocks are branded. They have a standard that they go by, and versus microlocks or mine, where my loctician kind of picked the way that she wanted them to do. There's other standardized types of microlocks, like bell locks, if you guys have heard of that. That's a new thing that's coming around, and other people who have basically patented their method. And Sisterlocks is one of those groups that has. And I believe the lady who started it, she has a doctorate, right? She has a PhD.
So Dr. Joanne Korn.
I mean, that's the reason why mine looks similar, is because our locks were both started with interlocking as the method of doing it. But not all people who have microlocks are going to have interlocking as their starting method, so they won't share as many similarities to sisterlocks as mine do.
Right. That's a very good explanation, because when I was researching last year, I really didn't know what the difference was, other than, they're just tiny, so
yeah, tiny locks. And some people call them tiny locks instead of microlocks. And so a lot of those people have sisterlocks or microlocks, and it gets to the point sometimes where I have to ask people, because I'm not as some people are laser focused and they're like, oh, I know the grid, but I don't really know the grid like that. So I have to ask people the difference between them. But I will say though, that as you get more a part of the tiny lock or microlock community, that you will notice the uniformity that comes with sisterlocks, and notice, okay, yeah, she has sisterlocks, or yeah, no, that's not sisterlock. So you will notice that.
I'm not there yet, because like I said, I thought you had sisterlocks. They're gorgeous. So, but yeah, go ahead, girl.
So I believe I forgot to answer the question of what my hair texture is. And my hair texture is actually 3C. And I think I have one tiny spot on the very crown of my hair that goes up to 4B, which is also one of the reasons why my locks sit flatter. They don't fluff up. They just fall down. So it's just a different look. But I'm curious as to, you were saying you have sisterlocks, and how long it took. How did you come to the decision that, okay, yeah, microlocks versus sisterlocks, I'm picking sisterlocks?
Okay, so the price, because when I went to do the research, everyone's charging me maybe $200 or less for the price of sisterlocks. So I was like, man, I might as well go ahead and pay the extra $200 and get the name brand thing. So it was going to be the same price around that area anyway, and I just chose for the name brand. So that's what swayed my opinion.
And I think that's a lot of people though, Lena, because there's a lack of uniformity across the microlock community. If you don't get sisterlocks or bell locks or something like that, it is kind of like a, man, do I want, I will admit it, my locks are just no name locks from from the person who created them. I mean, if you're from my area, you will notice almost everybody whose hair the particular person who did mine does, they look the same, but it doesn't have the brand authority. And I think that's the word that people are looking for, is brand authority when it comes to everybody. You know, when you're in public, they know what Sisterlocks are, that they have a set of standard, that they have a grid, they have guidelines, they have a specific training. And I think that's attractive for a lot of people. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a big factor in why I originally considered Sisterlocks over Microlocs, is that I was like, well, man, these people have a standard that they're supposed to be reaching. So there's probably a little bit more accountability when it comes to that. And also, the only community I knew that had Microlocs at the time that I started researching was the DIY community. And you know, because if you look on YouTube, do you follow any DIY channels?
I do.
Yeah. I think the biggest names in DIY Microlocs would probably be Kiki J and Kendra Kinshay, right?
Yep, Kiki J and Kendra Shay. Oh my gosh, yes, I love. That's what, like, they were one of the ones that, you know, swayed me to get Microlocs. But the person that I saw first, her name is oh my gosh, Lavinia Loving Locks, I believe. She was like the first person I saw, and then the second one was Nia Bia. I love still Nia Bia. That's my girl.
I don't know Nia Bia, so I got
some research. Yeah, you had Nia still Nia Bia.
I've never heard of her before. Okay, so we've already talked a little bit about why we each made the decision, and I can get into a little bit more detail. I researched first with Sisterlocks, and then I had a couple of bad consultation experiences. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little salty, and that really got. And I was in my feelings about it, Lena. That was a pretty, significant part of my decision in my particular area, because I went to 4 consultations. If you follow me on my channel at all, you know, I have a video. It was one of my very first ones I made about, I tried to get Sisterlocks, and I honestly, though, I could have found somebody else and done my research. I think I got frustrated with my consultation experiences. And so I started looking for alternatives. And my ultimate decision was based off of word of mouth. So I saw somebody's hair, because my original goal was just to look. Well, I wanted to look a certain way. I saw somebody's hair and I said, "Where'd you get your Sisterlocks done?" And she said, "Oh no, these are not Sisterlocks. These are just Microlocs." And I was like, "Just Microlocs? Tell me more." And my loctician has Sisterlocks. And even in the description of her, like of when I signed up for the consultation, it said locks similar size and method to Sisterlocks, but they're not Sisterlocks. So, or some people call all like bottled drinks with caffeine Coke. Everybody call them all Coke, but it's like, no, there's only one Coke. So there's only one Sisterlocks, but there's a lot of, I'm not even gonna call it imitation, because I feel like that's just saying that like Microlocs can't stand on their own as just their own thing. And also, you mentioned that the pricing was very similar where you're from. For where I'm from, it was way different for a person who wasn't a trainee. And I decided I didn't want to use somebody who was a trainee. So it was like the difference between $1,400 and $800, which is ultimately what I ended up paying. Do you have any advice for a person who is trying to make that decision and it's kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do?
Just do your research. Like, I mean, it's a blessing that, you know, you hastily, you know, went to this person, but you vibe with that person. She's taking care of your hair, and it's by word of mouth. I think that's the best, like, you know, advertisement, is asking people, you know, who did your hair, things like that. It's just research. Like, I think I researched maybe not long, maybe 3 or 4 months. I know people research for a couple of years, but, you know, I went to like 2 or 3, you know, I called 2 or 3 people, but I went to maybe 2 consultations, and I chose, you know, but my advice, again, I know I'm being redundant, is just to research, just like, you know, read up on who you want to go to, or, you know, what work they do, you know, ask for pictures, ask for things like that.
What has been your experience having Sisterlock so far? Do you have any regrets, and how has your experience been?
I don't have any regrets. I wish, like I said, I know it's cliche, I wish I would have started sooner, but like, I don't have any wash days. Like, when I do wash my hair, I'm washing, I don't braid a band, you know, anymore, but I know I should. But when I do, I just, you know, wash my hair and I let it go. Like, versus when I was loose natural, it would take me hours. Like, I have no regrets. Like, and I see a lot of, you know, ladies, you know, even, you know, yourself, like making like lock regret videos and things I hate about my locks. Like, I don't see myself like, you know, making a video, or because I have nothing that I don't like about my locks, nothing that I hate about my locks. Like, even at the beginning, I love that, you know, the chicken look. I don't know. I didn't have that, you know, I don't think I had a boring phase. You know, I still don't know what to do with my locks. I just keep them. I don't do things, you know, like you do with the pretty styles and the updos. I don't do that, but I have nothing but good things to say about having these locks. I just wish that it would have started 3, 4, 5 years ago before it got popular, you know?
Yeah. Now it's everybody and their dog and cat.
I know.
But you know, isn't that a testament though of a good thing?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Really...
Most of my regrets are just me not, like I said, I did my research, but I didn't do my research. And honestly, that's where most of my regrets have come from, is just not knowing some things that I should have known before I made the leap, but isn't it like, it is a testament of a good thing that everybody, wants to do it, from the natural hair movement in general that started over 10 years ago with people like Natural 85 and the Chic Natural and all those ladies who, like, look at it all these years later. Well, who would we be without those type of ladies, and that the camaraderie that comes with a lot of people jumping on a wagon? But it does make you feel like less special, I guess. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, yes, looking around, it's like, dang, everybody in here has
right. But the good thing is, like, everyone's like locks are unique. Like, no one's the same. They're like snowflakes, but like everyone has them, but they're all different.
And you know what else will be the testament, Lena, is that if people will keep them.
I know, because I'm seeing like videos of people like getting rid of their locks and stuff. Like,
yeah. Investment of time and energy, and we know how much of a benefit it is. And then people are like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna have them anymore. But also, I think that speaks to a good question that we can both answer: are Microlocs Sisterlocks permanent? Because that keeps people from making that decision. I thought, listen, if I get these things, it took me 2 years to decide, not a few months, 2 years to decide. And because I was thinking to myself, okay, this is something that's permanent, and if I don't like it, I gotta cut all my hair off. Do you want to speak to that? Like, because and I know though that there's other alternatives.
Right. And that's how I felt too before. I was really, really ignorant to, like, locks and microlocks and dreads in general. Like, I just had very bad connotations regarding, locks. I was ignorant. I admit that. Like, I thought they were dirty. It's embarrassing. But now I know, and I'm just like trying to like get everybody's like you should lock your hair. Lock your hair. Like, everybody lock your hair. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm with you on that. I agree, because I think even so many things I want to talk to you about, but I think that you opened the door to a really, really good question. And the question is, do you think that getting microlocks instead of locks is cheating as far as locks are concerned? And I ask this because, okay, a lot of people look at my hair and they look at your hair, and outside of the Black community, okay, I'm not saying that not just like only Black people can have locks, they don't even realize that we have locks. And so I feel like, for example, my sister, she has smallish locks, and so does her husband, and they kind of feel like we have locks, but it's a style of locks where nobody can really tell you have locks, so you don't have to deal with the connotation and the issues that it comes with having locked hair. The comments about, like you said, oh, it's dirty, or they don't look kept, or different things like that. Do you feel like that microlocks is not true? Like, it's not true locks?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't think about that until you said that. Like, now, I guess, because like, if you look at my hair from far away, you and yours, you wouldn't think, you just think it was like maybe a wash and go, just curly. But when you see like really like thick locks, you just think that bad, just those connotations.
Yeah, those thoughts.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And I do have those, like, I guess I did have those prejudices. Like, I don't even know, I don't mean to have it, but yeah, I think so. Oh my gosh.
And not even that, Lena, but the people who are coming out their ends to keep them curly, right? They want the look at the top, right? And then it's like, well, I don't actually want a lock. I want the starter lock curly micro look of hair. That means I don't have to wash my hair consistently, but nobody has any comments to say because they don't really feel like I actually have locks.
Exactly. Oh, that's a girl. Another video. Like,
we'll be back. To be continued, okay?
I know, right?
I'm serious. Like, that conversation will be kind of touchy, but it's for real. And I mean, I'm guilty.
It really is, girl.
I also noticed, like, some of the main creators at this point, now for multiple reasons, right? Part of this is because this is emerging. So there's not people like, I always talk about Natural 85, but I love her videos. But there's not been many people who've been on YouTube and Instagram for 10 years, right? And locks evolve so much. And so what we're seeing is all of our creators, they still got the big curly floopy, look. I wonder how it's going to be whenever their locks start locking. My locks are locking, your locks are locking, but it's in the process of locking. And again, how it's going to evolve over time. But I would love, let's do another video about Microlocs versus Microlocs and Sisterlocks. The culture, what is the difference? Are there prejudices? Because we know there are.
Yes, it is. And we don't even know it.
Yeah, even within ourselves. And I know I'm learning better, and I know you're learning better too. But yeah. So we already talked a little bit about, like, why I made my choice, why you made your choice, about the cost differences and the time that it took to get it done. What can you tell me just a little bit more about, okay, when you get into the nitty gritty of getting Sisterlocks, what's going to happen? Like, what was your process like leading up to it? What is your maintenance and like day-to-day process of having Sisterlocks? And then I'll share mine.
Okay, so in October, I went to go see her and we had our consultation. It was about maybe an hour and a half long. She asked me about the history of my hair. She put in like the test locks in my hair, in the back of my hair, and she had me come back maybe 2.5 weeks later. And this was at the end of October. So around before Halloween is when I got my test locks done, and I got the installation done November 16th. Got my pillow and my snacks and stuff, got all that together for my installation, and we really vibe. We got watch movies and TV shows, and laugh, girl, we cry. It was just a really bonding moment. Like, I miss those 3 days. Like, do you ever miss like your installation days? Like, want to go back to those days? Like, it was just like, yeah. So and then what was that? What else? Maybe a month later, I did my first wash and went to get my first retie done. It took about 4 hours for it to get done. I'm lazy, I don't wash my hair until time to get the retie. But day to day, I'm just waking up, fluffing my hair, and I'm going, girl, and that's it. That is it.
Similar experience. So I went in, my loctician's name is Lynette. I went in, and we talked a little bit more because I was like super scared because of my hair texture. I was so nervous about the investment, plus like if it was going to work or not. I had so many doubts. So she talked me through that, and I had 4 tester locks, and they were over here by my ear. I think they weren't all the way to the back. They were over here by my ear. And I went back in. I think my consultation was a month away from my installation. I went in on my consultation, and then I came back a month later. She tested to see how much slippage they had, if it looked like if the method that she used, the rotation that she used, was going to be good for my hair. I think she did more than one type of rotation to see which one looked like it would be best for my hair. I came back, and again, y'all need to follow Lena, because your girl didn't take no pillows. I had my food. The most important thing, I wasn't prepared for the struggle of how many days it was going to take. But also, my hair texture is really soft, and so it actually took longer than she thought it was going to take. And I have a big old head. So I went in thinking it was going to be 2 days. It ended up being 3 days. So it actually was 2 days and then separated by a day. And then another day is how it ended up going. But it was the same type of experience of like, we watched probably since like 2 seasons of Bones on like Netflix. And we talked about our histories and just life, and like, oh, it's such a beautiful thing, like the bond. If you can find a loctician, listen, number one piece of advice, if you can get this from this video, the person who is going to be doing your hair is going to be somebody you spend a lot of time with, and you need to enjoy. Enjoy them. You need to feel like the work that they do is worth it, because it is an investment over time. And you need to they need to be a person whose work you respect. And that's the bottom line. And so I actually ended up going back 6 weeks later. And in between there, she had me wash my hair every couple of weeks because I had a big itching problem.
I saw the video of that.
Yes. Oh man, my hair itched so bad. And again, I think that's a testament to different hair types, because my hair is so fine that it was very scalpy. And so I was getting a lot of air to the scalp and different things like that. And so it contributed to having a little bit more issues. And then after that, she set me up on 4 to 6 weeks reties. And so I do wash one time in between reties, just because I feel like, I don't know, I do, but I don't mind washing my hair and braiding and banding and doing that. But I will say that the more mature my hair has gotten, the less likely it is that I'm going to wash it every 2 weeks though. So like this retie it will take 6 or 7 weeks. I think there was like something that happened in between where it got pushed out. And so I've washed my hair once, and I'm not gonna wash it again until next week when I go back. So that's in 6 or 7 weeks, only one time that it will have been washed. Also, she told me because for my hair texture, the more that I washed it, the more it would help it like bond and lock and fill out. So I try to give it a wash before she washes it. Does your loctician wash yours at your appointment?
She could wash it, but I don't. I wash my own hair.
Okay. Yeah, mine washes mine. I go in and she like bends. She doesn't braid it, man, but she like bakes it into these sections and she washes it, and then it dries as she goes through. Another thing I was going to ask you about is with Sisterlocks, do they like, I know they do like lock corrections, but is that included in the cost of your reties when she has to fix any locks?
Okay, so that's a good question because she did fix a couple holes in my locks, but it was within the time frame. Like, you know, I'm booked for like 3 hours. So if I go over 3 hours, then I'll get paid extra, but she's never went over the 3 hours to like, you know, fix any locks that need to be fixed or slippage. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because some and this is like, I don't think this is a difference between Microlocs and Sisterlocks, just locticians in general. When you go to get your reties done, there's different ways that people charge. And so there's ways that I feel like are more fair, but everybody has the way they do it. My loctician charges by the hour, and she includes any fixing holes and stuff. So if it takes longer because of that, then, you know, I just pay more. Sounds like yours just charges for like a bulk of time. Some people charge for the retie, and then if they have to fix anything, it's a set fee, like $5 for every like something they have to fix.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like when she has Sisterlocks, and whenever she goes to get her hair retied, before it was hourly, and it came up to being like, I think she was paying like $150 per retie, and it took 4 hours. Now her loctician has switched to a flat rate of like $150, but it only takes her 2 hours. So she's like suspicious because she's like, now that you charged me a flat rate, then why is it not taking you so long?
Exactly. I said all that time she sat in that chair and before, you know, pay her that money.
And she also noticed that she has less locks now. So like she's been combining her locks and not telling her.
Oh no.
Yeah, but this is not like a Sisterlock Microloc thing. It's just, you don't know what you don't know that's happening in your head sometimes. So you kind of have to be aware. And again, going back to a person that is trustworthy, who's doing good work, and that you have a good vibe with, because there are people who I feel like that's taking advantage, in my opinion. But but yeah, so me and we have gone over from start to finish of why we made our choices and our hair textures, you know, what our initial process was like. And if you notice, they're startlingly similar. And so I think that whenever you're going through the Microloc Sisterlock process and interlocking is what both of you guys have, there's going to be more similarities, in my opinion, than there are differences if you're using a loctician. Now, if you get into two-strand twisting, palm rolling, braiding as the way that you start your locks, that's when you're going to see the main difference. Or if you get into DIYing, it's going to be a whole different experience. And I was super excited to make this video with you, partially for that reason, because I think that people think that, like, you know, oh, it's such a huge difference. But the differences come with the method, I think, and with who you choose, if it's yourself or somebody else to do your locks.
We didn't talk about the price, so I can tell you how much I paid for. Okay, so when I got it first done, she was a trainee, so she wanted to use my hair as, you know, one of the heads to use to send to the corporate whatever. So she took off $100, so I ended up paying $1,000 for my install. You know, that included, you know, the first retie and the consultation, all that stuff. So that's how much it cost.
And I would say, in contrast to hers, my $800 did not include the consultation or the first retie.
Oh no! Because it's
So I ended up paying the same price. I guess if you add those two things in there, I didn't realize that about Sisterlock. So that's a good point, that your consultation and your first retie are included in the price that you pay.
Yep.
So mine was not. So it was $1,000 total if you include those two things. So we pay the same amount.
Oh, okay. And I pay $130 every retie.
Yeah.
And that's 3 hours.
Yeah, same. So, it's like $130.
What about, okay, one thing, do you keep your hands in your hair? Like
it's so bad. I'm always like this. And so I noticed so many things about my hair because I'm always touching it. Like these right here, see these guys? Are my existence right now. See that?
They're just hanging down there, yes.
I noticed those and then I noticed that, have you gotten the balls on the ends?
I do.
And
I
they
do.
fall
I know.
off. I think that's just
Mhm.
part of the locking process in general. I've noticed
Yeah.
like parts that are shorter than other parts and things like, but I think the hand and the hair syndrome is just like, it's across the board and we need to stop.
Okay.
Okay. But we can't, it's like, it's addictive.
It
It's like you're
is.
trying to quit caffeine or something, or get
Mhm.
off Facebook.
It's
It's
oh,
like,
it's
I can't do
soothing.
it.
It's soothing to me. Like I
Well,
can just.
guys, we have gone through a lot of stuff. We have gotten off track a few times, but we hope that you enjoy the conversation. If you haven't subscribed to her channel, I'm going to put it down in the link below. If you want to know more about her Sisterlock experience, she has been really good about a monthly, I think monthly, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Her hair. And also, if you want to know, first video I ever saw that you made was about the Sisterlock retie class. So just videos along those lines. She's so funny.
Thank you, girl.
I really like it. Follow her on Instagram. I'll have everything linked in the description below. If you guys want more videos like this, if she is up for it, I'm up for it. We definitely are going to have the conversation about biases when it comes to locks, and if Microlocs and Sisterlocks are cheating, if we have the same experiences and that people with traditional locks have. But until next time, I have another couple videos that'll be popping up if you want to watch and see more from me. See you guys later. Bye.